Alright, Sydney video, the new Supergirl film is already in Blooming. Oh my god. Alright, chat. It's been like, what? I don't know. I think it's been out for maybe like a week, I think. Someone was telling me, like, in terms of like audience proportion, Bleach actually performed better because they had like a 3-episode release that was like, or a 3-day release of movies. And Bleach is a very niche thing, but it actually did really, really well in terms of like, you know, it came out last weekend. Yeah, and like in comparison, some movies like fucking came out and they were like next to Supergirl, and this one kind of really did not do too great. All right, let's see it. What's going on? What's this?
Because it's Pride Month and all that, and I think that she's a really great representation of what a modern woman can be. She can be strong, she can be tough,
she can be gay!
Be messy. And I love how this film doesn't center around any sort of love.
No, really, who could have seen this coming?
Strong, tough, messy. Messy, bro, what the fuck is messy? What do you mean by messy, girl? Like, what? I'm sorry, I hate the term for like messy is like kind of code word for like girl boss or something. Like, isn't that kind of code for like, oh, we're kind of making her like a little bit unlikable, and like you're not allowed to say that because like making fun of a girl is bad. Messy, yeah. Let's go shoot!
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell.
I don't know, it's
well,
weird.
Baby birds, I definitely debated about discussing this film again, but we are going to because it really is the gift that keeps on giving. But really, I wanted to wait and see how Supergirl would actually do in cinemas before saying anything and weighing in, because I was seeing a little bit of chatter that it was going to apparently do okay. But as most of you can probably anticipate, that is not the case at all. It's done really quite badly, and for some reason I find that quite humorous. If you're not up to date with this drama, a new superhero movie called Supergirl, starring Australian actress Millie Alcock, was pooped out in cinemas on June 26. The film follows the story of Kara, an alien and the cousin of Superman, as she navigates revenge and betrayal and goes on a journey to do something to someone somewhere. They made her very cool.
Yeah, I think at the start she gets like blasted and drunk, and then her dog gets kidnapped, and I'm like, her dog like gets poisoned or something, and I'm like, I mean, why what's with this like messy kind of story writing of implying that girl bossing means getting drunk and doing what you want? Poor DC world direction. Yeah, I don't know. I think people really, really don't care about anything in the Marvel universe after a certain point. There comes a point where it's like you're milking like a franchise and just it doesn't matter. Not even her dog is Clark's dog. Yeah, but it's still her dog. Like, she probably, like, in the lore, she cares about it. So I mean,
you know, very
I don't think that's that important.
She
really
doesn't care, and no,
punk rock is getting drunk. Guys, what?
But he understands her. It's probably worth noting that the storyline here revolves around sort of a sex trafficking ring, because the primary bad guys are all male space pirates and kidnap women.
Hey, that's not very inclusive. You can be a woman and a sex trafficker. What about Ghislaine or whatever her name? Ghislaine?
And girls from across the galaxy, specifically to sell/force them to be brides in order to continue their all-male society/race. So it's Mad Max. It's a bad Mad Max.
Mad Max was cool.
The primary bad guy, Krem, hurts Supergirl's dog with a poison blow dart that only he has the antidote to, and that's what sets our story in motion. I will not.
Why didn't you just blast that dog's head off? Why you gotta poison it? Why is he poison it?
You could not pay me to watch this film. I'm sorry. In the days leading up to its official release, many influencers and
men hated Supergirl. Okay, then where are all the women showing up to watch it? Like, it really didn't do well. I heard it only made 38 million, which I know people are gonna be like, Alana, actually 38 million is a lot of money. Guys, the marketing alone was like 100 mil. What do you mean it did well? That's terrible.
critics were giving the film positive reviews,
yeah,
suggesting
no
that it
women
was
showed up either. I guess not. Nobody did.
Then at the film's premiere in New York on June 22nd,
worse than Morbius? No. Shut your mouth. It did not do better than Morbius. Morbius did more? No, I'm gonna check. How much money did Morbius make? On opening weekend, I should preface, because it's only been out for a week. Morbius did 39 million and 84 globally. Oh no! Oh no! International opening weekend, it made 44 million. No fucking way, Morbius did better than Supergirl. That's so bad.
Friend Millie got back in front of reporters and started saying some more things about how her character could beat up Superman.
Who's gonna win, you versus Superman?
I'm gonna win, but it's because he's gonna let me win.
Wait, that's it's kind of sexist.
Because he is.
No, that's just his character.
Yeah.
But you're also stronger.
But I'm stronger.
Objectively.
Objectively stronger, yeah. So I'm gonna win.
And how
in the lore is Supergirl stronger than Superman? What? Superman is more formidable, mastery and control, combat and training experience. Wait. The Google AI summary says emotional stability. Oh no, they did that. They pulled that. Oh no, they pulled the. Oh, the woman has no emotional stability. That's not very. That's not very good, AI. Don't trust the AI. I don't know, man. It's telling me something. It's funny.
In honor of Pride Month, she thinks Kara is a representation of a modern woman and a positive figure for the LGBT community. Well, okay.
Have you heard from the fans, specifically from the LGBT community, about how they've been able to relate to your character?
I've just had a few people ask me about her and about her because it's Pride Month and all that, and I think that she's a really great representation of what a modern woman can be. She can be strong, she can be tough,
gay,
she can be messy.
Yes.
And I love how this film doesn't center around any sort of love, you know? It doesn't center around...
Okay, hold on. I do have to pause. It's not about the gay thing. We're just removing, like, the one thing that makes, most movies actually fun for normies. People do like a decent little, like, hint at love or something. Like, especially, like, a comic story. People like shipping. I feel like that's stupid. No, there's no romance. Okay, but like I'm pretty sure that's a kind of big, like, strong, like, yeah, like a side romance or like a hint. Like, people like hints and stuff. People like talking about it.
Romance or anything like that at all, and she has such resilience that I think that community is a community that is so resilient, and they can really relate to that in that.
Millie, I am genuinely asking you to stop talking. Just lips closed. No more. As a total aside, it's actually quite depressing that this is how Hollywood defines modern women. Messy and bad, no romance, no love interest, framed through LGBT representation at every opportunity.
Well, it's just kind of weird, because it's like, that's not actually how most women think. Yeah, the audience, the minority is like, the minority wants this, and it's like they don't even show up to the movie.
I'm tired, boss. Anyway, no matter how many positive influencer reviews were coming to the forefront here, it just wasn't enough to stop what was to come. Because actual critic reviews have been absolutely brutal, and the early box office numbers that we are seeing are probably on that same page as well. According to several outlets, the film did $18 million on its first day, which includes previews from 2 other days, and it is expected to do overall $42 million at the top end, or $37 million during this opening weekend at the bottom end. Apparently, some outlets are also reporting that the film is bombing insanely internationally. Also worth noting as well that the film had a $175 million production.
Oh no. Oh no. How much do they need to break even? Probably like 250 million? Because it's usually like a good chunk above what the production cost was. Double at least. Yeah, probably like 250 plus 300 because the marketing and then like everything else. 300 million in minimum? Yeah, that's horrendous.
Budget,
that's
although
really
this
bad.
Could be as high as 186 million.
Holy crap.
$186 million for something that gives people depression or puts them to sleep. Very on brand, Hollywood. Very on brand. Although I will say that there is an infinitely cheaper way of getting to sleep and staying asleep, and no, it's not watching Supergirl. It actually happens to be the sponsor of today's video, who I freaking love, and that sponsor is Beam. Let's take it away. If you are anything like me and have trouble winding down enough to actually get to sleep, Dream's Sleep Hot Chocolate might be the solution that you're looking for.
Beam.
Practically everybody that I know
Beam
has some
nuts.
issue falling asleep, be it stress from life, too much screen time, their brain just won't shut up. I unfortunately relate to that one a lot.
Hollywood pricing is a scam. AAA anything is a fucking scam because it's all ridiculously over budgeted. AAA, like, oh, it's like $1 billion for again, for example, like GTA, I think they've put in like $1 billion. $1 billion they're estimating.
I'm sure that a lot of you guys do as well. It's sort of ironic because so many of us used to stay out until 8 a.m. partying, and now if we don't get 8 hours of sleep, it's akin to being waterboarded. But this is why I take Dream sleep capsules most nights, and as you can see, I am almost out. This is a travesty. But Dream's Sleep Hot Chocolate Mix is equally delicious and wonderful, and I really mean that. You can absolutely drink it hot if you want, but given that we are in the throes of summer here in the US, you can also drink Dream as an iced chocolate, in case you aren't feeling hot drinks before bed right now. Anytime anybody in my life complains about not getting good sleep, I tee them up with a bag of this. I put it in little baggies for them so they can try it like a drug dealer.
No, don't drink before bed. That's horrible.
I didn't realize
Don't do
how
that.
bad my sleep was until I was using this and getting actual good sleep. I don't wake up feeling groggy after taking Dream, and I sleep like an absolute rock. It's dairy-free, gluten-free, vegan, non-GMO. There's absolutely no added sugar, and it has a bunch of great ingredients like reishi, L-theanine, magnesium. It also has melatonin-free options if you're sensitive to it, but you can also have melatonin if you're not.
Melatonin makes me fucked up, dude. Sometimes I used to take melatonin, like, for sleeping, and oh my god, it's kind of fucking miserable, man. Waking up the next day, it's like, ugh!
Mix your cocoa into water or milk.
I don't know, it depends. Some people like it, I don't.
Use your Beam frother until it is fully mixed and leave it as is, or mix it into ice for a perfect evening wind-down routine. So if you are ready to finally get amazing sleep, then you can get early access to Beam's 4th of July sale and be the first to shop up to 42% off using my exclusive link. So click the link in the description box or go to shopbeam.com/SydneyW and use code SydneyW for up to 42% off with Beam's 4th of July sale. And just to put all of this in perspective, because numbers are boring and terrible, a $37 to $42 million opening for Supergirl would rank among the most extremely disappointing releases for big budget superhero films in recent years, especially post-pandemic. Because as you all know,
because the franchise kind of ended, man. Again, I'm not a super, like, Marvel, whatever the fuck, DC Universe bullshit, right? Like, I'm not super into it. I'll watch it occasionally. But, like, there comes a point where it's like you stop caring because it was already over. You're stretching out into these, like, different fandoms or, like, different branches for characters that you just don't care about. After Endgame, it felt final. Yeah, I think that's a good thing, but they're, like, milking the shit out of it, and it's like, bro, like, nobody's gonna watch it. Nice still frame. Oh, good lord. Oh, jeez. What happened? Did they age her up or something?
Sneeze change things drastically with moviegoers.
Oh.
I mean, it's absolutely not the
She does not look like that in this shot. What happened?
Worst performance, but given the IP, the marketing, the connection to Superman, it's really, really, really not great what is going on right now. Not for these people. It's also sort of funny when you compare all of this to other big budget superhero films that have tanked, like the Marvels and The Flash, which people keep referencing all over the place.
Yeah.
Both movies are considered to have bombed, with the Marvels debuting at 46 million and The Flash opening at 55 million.
It actually did so bad. It actually did worse than both of those. I remember people didn't like The Flash because it was like, we just don't care about like these characters.
Supergirl could possibly be.
You know what fucking blows my mind? Don't they do a bunch of like test screenings for scripts? Like, why did they go through with this shit? Don't Hollywood crooks like love saving money? Like, why are we doing this over and over? James Gunn said The Flash was the best film he had ever seen. Yeah, well, James Gunn's kind of special, I guess.
Worse than both, which is absolutely insane.
He's a special
But
little
my
guy,
little
huh?
chickadees, this is not even the worst part. No, 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 it is not. Like I mentioned, the reviews here are absolutely so brutal. Variety magazine, which I'm sure a bunch of you are familiar with at this point, they have covered Millie Alcock a ton, published her interviews, yada yada. Well, they put together a review of this movie, and it is nothing if not scathing. Supergirl review. Millie Alcock takes charge in a dystopian superhero movie so flat it is super horrendous.
Man. If the game, well, not the game journals, so it's like Reflex. If the movie journals, the Hollywood cocksuckers don't like it, that's such a bad sign. Yeah, like they get paid to slurp and glorp on the Hollywood dick, and they just don't like it.
The little teaser line here, which I love, says, "It's got a terrible script and a punk rock attitude of corporate pretension."
What does punk rock got to do with getting drunk and like, I don't know, sitting on a planet and doing nothing?
Oh, who could have...
We're just saying words!
Who could have seen that coming?
Not me.
This review basically tells us that anything that calls itself punk rock is actually cringe. And the second...
Yeah, that is a good point. I will say that yeah, calling yourself punk rock is like... Like, you don't call yourself punk rock. Like, you just are, right? Nothing is punk rock? Yeah, like, the antithesis of punk rock is that, or being punk, is that you're not saying that you're punk. Like, you're anti-establishment. Or at least it used to be. I don't fucking know. Like,
you call anything punk rock, it has ceased in that moment to be punk rock.
He's got
and
a
has
point.
Instead become lame. And unfortunately, this
Actual
is a
double
movie that is
journal.
very much self-styled that way. Did I not tell you guys recently that Millie Alcock running around telling everybody that she was inspired by Vivienne Westwood and random Australian indie bands was gay? The 90s version of gay, not the men kissing other men version.
One designer that inspired me for playing Kara was Vivienne Westwood. She very much reflects
what?
Kara's
Who?
spirit.
Is she a fashion designer or something?
Very rock and roll, very punk, very anti-authoritarian.
Well, this reviewer agrees with me. And of course he does, because I'm right. He also calls out how this movie thinks it's really edgy and cool, but it really isn't.
Wait, but how can you be punk and like have lots of money? I thought the whole point was like to be against the government and like fuck society and like borderline anarchy, you know, that type of shit. Like you can't like it's like a paradox, or like it's the antithesis of it. Like you can't be like a super ultra rich person and then call yourself punk. Oxymoron. Yeah, that's the word. Corpo punk. Yeah.
And of course he does,
Corpo
because I'm
borpo
right.
punk.
He also calls out how this movie thinks it's really edgy and cool, but it really isn't, and generally takes aim at everything and everyone, making fun of how there is functionally no storyline in this movie.
It just bums me out so much because there's a point of like where you can be a cool edgy girl, and like you just have to be a well-written character. Like I had faith that maybe Ciri, for example, from Witcher 3, going through like hardcore like Witcher rituals and like having stories and backgrounds. Like she had a pretty fucking dark past that they didn't actually include in the game that was in the books, like running away with those group of people and getting hurt. I won't elaborate because YouTube doesn't like that word, but like there's some shit that happened to her, and I would say that's pretty fucking dark and edgy, and she didn't girl boss her way through it. She just lived through it, right? And got out of it and found Geralt again. Witchuals? Yeah, witchuals. Yeah, and like, I don't know, like there's ways to write a cool girl character and not just be about like, oh, I'm just a girl. I'm just getting through it. XD. It's like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Why are we acting like women act this way?
There is so little of anything meaningful in this film that there isn't even enough of a plot for the story to even make it convoluted. It can't be convoluted because there's not enough plotline here. He makes fun of the Supergirl backstory, her enemies, her allies, and then he takes aim at James Gunn himself, saying, Gunn was right to want to take the comic book genre back to well-structured screenwriting basics.
I don't trust James Gunn. I think whatever he says, you do the opposite of him.
So what has he done in his second DC outing? He's given us a comic book movie with the worst script I can remember. And this theme just basically continues with most other reviews that I've read. Reason published a review titled, Supergirl is a bafflingly grim, violent, and depressing take on a superhero movie.
What?
A drunk, depressed young woman fights personal demons, and an interstellar sex trafficking gang.
You know, I actually think this is another point of criticism that's actually fair. Isn't it supposed to be... I don't know. With the Joker, it was a pretty fucking depressing and sad movie. And, like, I thought that was really well written. Like, I watched it. Like, I watched it all the way through. I didn't watch Joker 2 because it sucked from the trailer. Some people think it's awesome. But like, you know what I mean? Like, that was a really, really good, well-made movie. It was depressing. It was gritty. It actually explored mental illness really well. And the Joker is like an actual character that's depressing, right? Like, that's his whole thing. Like, if you actually look at it, yeah, with Phoenix being the actor, I think he did a really good job. Superman was hope-pilled. Yeah, and I think that, like, I think, like, Supergirl's not supposed to be depressing, because if you look in the previous video that we watched about this, she didn't look hopeless and sad. She was just, like, standing up against the bad guy, and it's like... I feel like that's such a far detachment from her actual character that people don't really relate to it. I think that's just weird. With the Joker, you expect him to be sad and depressed and gritty, and, like, it's supposed to be, like, avant-garde and, like, super serious.
Isn't this supposed to be
cheesy?
Fun? Well, that's the thing, Peter. You'd think so, but...
And I do mean, like, the old Supergirl, not this one. This one is like, what the hell are we doing?
But no, films like this, which are apparently supposed to be for little girls, because they keep telling us that this is a movie for young women and girls, are supposed to be depressing and sad and terrible. Because apparently this is what modern women want. Suffering.
There are going to be a lot of little girls
who see this.
And that's really...
And they see a really drunk woman being sad. I don't want to see that if I'm, like, 10 years old. I wouldn't get it, because my brain isn't developed enough to understand it. Like, when I was a kid and I saw people drunk in a movie and being depressed, like, you don't have the cognitive understanding to, like, to understand what she's going through. If you're gonna make the argument of, like, oh, well, she's got a character she's developing, like, that's not how a child's psychology works. They don't understand.
Yeah. That's gonna be the thing that I'm like...
Anyway, this review explains that while it wasn't...
And again, you can say, oh, but the Joker, it's like, yeah, but the Joker was marketed towards an older audience and it was extremely successful. It was marketed towards older Gen Z and young millennials, and people loved that movie because it was so depressing and so realistic. In a fantasy kind of way, obviously, because he, like, actually had, like, mental problems and, like, you know, crazy. Yeah, it was R-rated. Yeah, like, this is supposed to be, like, a family movie. I can understand where these critics are coming from, surprisingly enough.
the best movie ever made. James Gunn's Superman was at least charming in its own way. Supergirl, on the other hand, is, quote, dark, depressive, and dull. Supergirl is such a thoroughly grim and charmless picture that it—
Yeah, the Supergirl is PG-13. Like, I don't know. That's just kind of weird. You can't even make the argument.
Almost plays like an in-universe rebuke to its predecessor's lightheartedness. It's a downer of a movie in nearly every way. Oh, but this review gets even worse.
Ooh.
The whole thing plays like a fourth-rate Mad Max ripoff, but
oh, man!
but without the pedal-to-the-metal action sequences or the single-minded vengeful fury. It's not fun.
And you know what's fucking sad? There is single-minded vengeful fury with movies like Kill Bill. Like, the main protagonist is a woman who has her husband killed, and she gets buried underneath a coffin in the ground, and she breaks out, and it's a whole fucking single-minded fucking furious woman fury, and nobody said a word. Nobody said, oh my god, she's just such a bitch, oh my gosh, ew. Yeah, like, that's a feminist masterpiece. Like, it's not even about feminist masterpiece. It was just a well-written character, and it was well executed, and the action was really great. Like, people actually criticized that there was too violent from Quentin Tarantino's, you know, from his directing, because he likes blood and gore, and it's, like, really violent. Like, that's what people criticized it at the time when it came out. If you actually read, like, that current day, like, critic reviews. They didn't criticize her for being a girl.
It's barely even righteous. It's just miserable. At one point, Supergirl flat out murders a guy by pushing a giant sword through his neck. Somehow, I suspect even Zack Snyder would be appalled.
Whoa.
This reviewer seems genuinely disturbed by the things he saw in this movie, and he basically spends most of this review asking, who on earth signed off on these decisions? Again, I think it is worth saying that you have to remember
Stupid people,
that
I
Millie
guess.
Alcock herself and other people kept saying that this is a movie for young women and girls, and I want to know who is taking their kids to see a film like this. Who is allowing—
The same people who go to Starbucks and get their kids a caffeinated drink and then wonder why they're bouncing off the walls at 9 p.m. I don't know what to tell you, like really, really cringe parents, I guess. Like, again, if I saw, like, the synopsis and it was like, young Supergirl gets drunk and is depressed, I'd be like, what the fuck? I'm not taking my 13-year-old to, like, watch a woman getting drunk and being sad and fucking murking people because she's mad. Like, that's a pretty serious movie, and you'd have to explore it really well to justify it.
Their children to see people getting stabbed in the neck. Who is doing this? And this is why a bunch of people, me included, have been asking this entire time.
I'm iffy on the whole watching kids, letting kids watch violent stuff, because it's like there's degrees to, like, cartoon and movie violence that, like, kids just don't care about, and it doesn't affect them psychologically. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. Like, I was a kid. I grew up with certain stuff, but I wouldn't take a kid to a Quentin Tarantino movie. That's fucked up. Like, there's degrees to it.
Who is this movie for? Who is this made for? Because it's not the children. In my travels of the internet, I saw very, very few reviews that actually gave the movie any sort of credit. Most were appalled by what was being shown on screen, or could not understand how anyone thought this plot and its scenes were ever a good idea. A handful of reviewers tried to compliment Millie Alcock's performance personally, but I think this was more so in an effort to save face, I guess, rather than because there was anything positive to say. I also get the impression this was an effort to defend her personally in some way, trying to separate her performance and her character from the stale plot and horrible writing that audiences are currently slamming.
Well, the writer is awful. Let's just be real with that. I don't know about her acting. I'd have to, like, watch it myself, but, like, there's only so much you can do with terrible, shitty writing.
For instance, while acknowledging that
she's never written a movie before, Alana? That's sad. Like, how did she get the job? Like, at least you should be, like, knowing what to do a little bit, right? Like, again, I'm not gonna shit on people that are, like, doing indie movies and it's, like, their first time directing. Like, the Backrooms guy. People are like, oh, it's a mid-movie. I'm like, I watched it and I was like, I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. Like, yeah, it's not fucking 10 out of 10 script writing and and direction, but like I thought it was pretty fucking good. And that was an indie movie. This is a fucking AAA. All they fucking care about is making money. The Backrooms was a pretty decent movie. I think it was like a 6. Fuck. It was like a 6.5. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I watched it.
Supergirl lacks originality and
No,
depth
I didn't
in its
say
plot,
it. Shut
even
up!
calling it an uninspired slog. The Hollywood Reporter framed Millie as an appealingly punky protagonist.
I can't even say ratings, chat.
She is so punk rock. One film critic from The Guardian seemed to be more preoccupied with Supergirl's name than anything else, as he questioned why her more famous cousin gets to rock the mature Superman title while she's left with Girl. There is already a Superwoman, and there's actually...
They're different people, you dumb fuck. Even I know that. Superwoman's different. She has like a rope, and she flies. I thought she was cool when I was a kid, actually. Yeah. Yeah, they're different characters. Yeah, obviously.
Even a Wonder Woman.
Oh, Wonder Woman. Wait, Superwoman? Yeah, Superwoman's the different one. Yeah. That's Wonder Woman. Yeah, chat, sorry. I get confused. I'm stupid. Superwoman's some other chick. Yeah, I knew that. I just got confused for a moment.
Please just shut up, Peter.
Power Girl?
Anyway, besides
Yeah.
the 5 people who liked Millie Alcock here, apparently it's really jarring to have such an...
Power Girl is the one that has a lot of corn of her. I remember. That's the one that has a lot of corn because it's really pretty and really attractive.
Depressing superhero
I do know that
juxtaposed
one.
next to Superman, who pops up a few times during the film, who is trying to be positive and chipper. It's what I'm gauging for what these people have written. And these two side by side apparently only highlights how utterly bizarre the whole thing is, all these sequences are, so, you know, there's that. I pointed this out in my first video about Millie Alcock, but even Grace Randolph, who is a YouTuber that most of us would disagree with on most topics, has weighed in here, and she's weighed in negatively. Her first video was to say that Millie Alcock's comments were not great.
Comparing it to Rachel Zegler is so funny to me.
And that her handler should be doing a better job.
Handler. Wow! That's what they call him now?
But this time, it was to give a review of this film where she actively said that she was looking forward to the next Superman movie and wanted to forget whatever garbage this was. She discussed how there's a scene where Kara is drunk, pees, and then goes back to bed without washing her hands. That was an important thing that she told us. Okay. And the audience sees all of it. She said that it's super hard to feel anything about Kara's dog Crypto because he's so obviously bad CGI. But one of the parts that stood out to me...
That's a fair criticism.
...is where Randolph says that not every movie has to be some sort of feminist manifesto.
Not every movie and show about a female character needs to also double as a feminist manifesto. I mean, can't Supergirl just...
That's kind of a weird backpedal from her, because if I remember correctly, she was the one that was, like, criticizing all these, like, people for shitting all over Rachel Zegler. Wasn't she the one? That's kind of a crazy switch up from this chick. She's some sort of like Hollywood, I don't know, like critic, I guess, or like journalist. I don't remember. She's developing. I don't know. I don't trust him.
Save the day.
Do women have to wash their hands when they pee? Yeah, no shit, because you're touching a bunch of gross stuff. Yeah, you're supposed to wash your hands when you go to the bathroom.
I'm okay with movies. I think Barbie balanced things very nicely. But again, this is a non-spoiler review, but just to give you a little bit of an example, they shoehorned a subplot in here about trafficking underage girls that not only is not from the original comic, but that it's lifted directly out of Mad Max. Like, directly. Like, how did you think you could do that?
Yeah, but Mad Max was cool.
It doesn't do the movie any favors. It just makes it too heavy-handed, too eye-roll. Like... And also, it reminded me a little bit of Black Widow to a degree as well. You know, I'm going to mention it later, but Millie Alcock was like, I didn't watch any female superhero movies to prepare for this. And you're like, maybe.
Why would you not? You didn't even, like, read the comics. You didn't watch any superwoman, like, superhero movies with women in it. What are we doing? What?
If you had, you would have noticed you were copying quite a few of them.
Listen, when the people who have advocated for feminist storylines are suddenly switching it up and saying that not everything needs to be a feminist story, you know you've gone too far. You know you have fallen off the edge of the cliff and there is no returning. I actually saw one tweet about this exact issue that just went even harder. This person wrote, Supergirl is such feminist slop. She's fighting a race that is male only. How does a male only race even evolve and continue to exist? They need to kidnap women in the film to propagate their race, so they can't reproduce without women. It is completely oxymoronic and biologically implausible. Sorry guys, I have to fix what this person's written because it's not written for speech and I don't even think that's a complete sentence. Anyway, the tweet goes on to say that these screenwriters wanted a way to make all the men into evil, people who do evil things to women for political reasons, but they weren't creative enough to write a good reason for this to be the case. And the whole thing just comes off as an overly forced feminist power fantasy. So everybody...
And again, you can write evil, bad conquerors into fantasy writing, as seen with Game of Thrones, where they literally conquer, and it's like a Horde Mongolian reference of like they conquer the entirety of Westeros, right? Like that's well written because they're conquerors. And it's like, why can't we just do that? Like, yeah, those men were evil. Yeah, they put people into slavery. Yeah, it's bad. Nobody fucking said anything because it was well written.
Is in agreement
Dothraki, yes, exactly.
Joined by the mutual hatred of this film. One of the other things that Grace Randolph really hammers on too is how Supergirl stole so much from other movies. How the jokes are the same, the sequences are the same, even the plot points, and you could have just copy and pasted these scenes and whatever from other movies into Supergirl.
I think that they use AI to write scripts. Because AI does regurgitation. It really does. Like, if you've ever interacted with, like, these, like, like Grok or Gemini or ChatGPT, all that shit, they just, like, regurgitate. They can't, like, create new things. They always have to go back on something to, like, reference itself, because they don't have, like, original thought in a way. Grok, is this true? Yeah, Grok, is this true?
Girl, and there would really be functionally no difference. So with all of this in mind, it's just really not terribly surprising at all that the more that people watch this movie, the fewer good things that they have to say about it. And I think on a long enough timeline, we're going to see more and more audience reviews that reflect the negative opinions of the critics, so everybody will just be joined in negative output about this movie. Already, we are seeing people say this movie is getting review bombed because people are
oh my god,
leaving 1-star reviews. But that is not what's happening here.
Yeah, but like that's crazy. It has a 7. I would not give it a 7. A 10? 100? Are we serious? What?
It's getting review bombed because people are leaving 1-star reviews.
I would say it's getting good bombed. I heard it's like a 6. I mean, like, I would give it between a 5 or a 6.
Views. But
just based on the trailer.
Happening here
maybe it's slower, maybe it's higher. I don't know. I think it's probably a 5 or 6.
Ordinarily like this kind of movie, and more specifically like this movie itself, are showing up and saying that it's not very good. That's probably indicative of how bad it actually is. And you couple that with all of the drama around James Gunn and Millie Alcock and some other bits and bobs, and you really do have a recipe for disaster. As a complete and total aside, I found it really interesting that Variety actually published a full and probably unedited interview that they did in the past with Millie Alcock, headlining this article, "It's hard to be universally beloved." Millie Alcock goes deep on her Supergirl journey, from auditioning to tuning out toxic fans. Like I said, they obviously did this interview some time ago and used snippets of it to write other pieces, some of which I have referenced on this channel, but I do think it's interesting that they are bringing this up now, and part of me was like, I wonder if this is in an effort to sort of defend Millie Alcock, but, they're probably actually just jumping in on all the backlash, given the way that they're titling all of these articles. In this interview, just by the way, Millie Alcock says that this character is the closest that she's ever been to playing herself, and I don't know, I'm thinking maybe that's the problem here.
Yeah, honestly, that is such a fucking issue with some actors. They can't separate themselves without, like, they need to self-insert themselves because they're not good actors.
Said this a million times before, so I'm not back up on it. My thoughts again and again, but
and again, because she didn't like watch or appreciate the media that she was like trying to emulate, or like, you know, she's doing a superhero movie. Why the fuck wouldn't she watch superhero movies to study how other people are doing it? Yeah, like, you're just stupid. And that's probably why it looks like a self-insert, because she probably just didn't have an idea of what she wanted to do.
Will say
it's bad.
Supergirl embodies everything that is wrong with modern Hollywood. It is why everything about modern Hollywood is failing. It is no longer about good storytelling or creating compelling characters, and as a result of that, they don't even know who their movies are for. Films today, including this one, are basically just message delivery systems for politics, or they're a form of activism. They're a way of delivering a specific message and viewpoint to the people who are viewing them. Studios, directors, writers, whoever, they're not making movies for us to enjoy. They're making movies to drill into us whatever, you know, ideology and political messaging is hot at the time.
And it's funny because, like, there's so many movies that are superhero movies that do have critical messaging on, like, governments and stuff, like Batman with the fucking Gotham being a corrupt shithole and this and that, but like, that's the whole point. It's Gotham. Like, if you want to make an allegory towards like criticizing the government, the current day government, it's not like they went out of their way to be like, yes, soy pog, it's the current president's fault. Yeah, it's like this. No, if you want to extrapolate it to that, yeah, sure, that's your fucking prerogative as a viewer, but like, directly saying it makes the audience feel fucking stupid.
I really do think that this movie was going to fail regardless.
Civil War,
because,
yeah.
I mean, number
There's so
one,
many.
who actually was asking for a Supergirl movie? Probably nobody. But more importantly,
Hollywood's just a giant propaganda media machine. Yeah, but the difference is that it used to be enjoyable and people didn't realize it was propaganda. It's like the same. It's like the same thing as playing a video game, and all video games are designed to waste your time. But when you don't realize you're wasting your time, it's actually a good thing because you don't realize it. Like, when I started realizing I was wasting my time on World of Warcraft, that's when I stopped enjoying it, because I was like, fuck this shit, I'm not having fun, I'm not gonna play it anymore.
There really is this level
but
of
it always was the waste of time
around
True,
superheroes,
right?
around these big blockbuster kind of movies, because they're never actually all that good. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. They're never that good. They hit cinemas, you watch it and you think, yeah, that was forgettable, and then you never think about it again. When superhero stories were popular, it was because they were well written, the characters were good, they were an event. They were something that you waited to come out, you went and saw it, and it actually made a lasting impact on you. These days we get one after another, after another, after another, and they sort of follow the same sort of storyline and trajectory. They sort of have the same cadence and tone and whatnot. And once you've seen one—
I'm telling you, it's probably AI. It's gotta be. Especially with a bitch that never made a movie before, and she's debuting with a multi-million-dollar you know, franchise, and she just doesn't know what to do. She's like, oh fuck, what do I do? Oh shit, AI save me, grok, what do I do? That's what I think.
Of them, I sort of feel like you've seen them all. Now, granted, I realize that I may not be the primary target demographic for these films, but I still really liked a bunch of superhero movies over the years and looked forward to them being in cinemas, like Wonder Woman, for example, and Guardians of the Galaxy. But I would never, even in years gone by, have gone to see Supergirl, and everything right now that surrounds this movie just feels so uninviting and unappealing, especially reading through all of these reviews that relate to the characters and the storyline and everything. It just seems like such a dumpster fire. I will say as well, I am a little surprised that this movie seems honestly so much worse than I was anticipating. Like, I really mean it when I say that these reviews—
I don't know, I just thought it was gonna be uninteresting. I didn't think it would be that bad that people would be like, damn, like that journalist being like, this is actually really bad writing for feminism, and I was like, I'm impressed. Usually those guys, those people that fucking write those reviews, all of them, like man or woman, they usually just like glaze the fuck out of it, but they didn't. And I was like, what's going on here? I'm kind of sussed out a little bit.
Reviews went so
what's going
hard.
on?
Anyway, in the end, I'm just not super sure how many more movies need to implode like this for Hollywood to see that what it is doing is not working. People have fatigue. They are tired of bad storylines. They are tired of...
They're tired of wasting their fucking money going to a fucking stupid ass movie, driving there, buying the popcorn, buying the Coca-Cola. It's all overpriced. Yeah, people don't want to pay for that shit. Or even paying for Netflix to watch it if it's like on Netflix or something. Yeah, I didn't even know.
Over-reliance on special effects and CGI. They're tired of crappy characters and badly written characters, and they're tired of actors and actresses getting on red carpets and lecturing everyone around them. So I don't think any of us will be surprised when this movie turns out to be a massive, massive flop, but it probably, unfortunately, won't be the last one that we see this year, and it also won't be the last superhero movie to absolutely fall on its face. Now, on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Beam using the link in the description. As you know, I freaking love Beam. They're one of my favorite sponsors, and this is a good arrangement because if you guys go support them, then they support this channel, which means that I get to support you in a roundabout way with discount codes and fun things like that. So it's pretty good. You see how it's nice and cyclical. So if you are having trouble getting to sleep, staying asleep, etc., absolutely check them out. I promise you won't regret it. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Have you gone and seen this movie? And if you have, what did you think of it? Do you agree with what the
Chat said they didn't even watch the shit.
Reviewers are saying? Do you think that their comments are fair and accurate? Do you think that they're completely horrible and that they're unfair and accurate? Are you somebody who's like, I am not going to see this movie? Absolutely no heckin' way. This is not for me. I'm not giving these people my money. Are you in the middle where you think, I'd like to see it, but I'm going to wait for it to be on streaming services because I'm not giving anybody my money at this juncture? What do you think of all of the negative commentary around this movie? Does it seem fair? Does it seem unfair? What do you think of all of the drama continuing to surround Millie? Do you think that's fair? Is that also unfair?
I think she's not as bad as Rachel, but she definitely is up there. And the fact that like all those that chick that criticized her, I just think it's so weird that they're like randomly turning on her and like they're turning on her and criticizing her as opposed to defending her. I thought that was so strange.
And what you
it's kind of whiplashy
issue overall. As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here, you're not subscribed already, and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. Like I always say, my wonderful little chickadees, I hope you stay safe and well and make tremendously good choices, and I will see your beautiful little faces in the next video.
Very nice. Very nice. That was a good yap sesh. Go check her out. Fucking Bean, whatever the fuck. Alright. Did we get a V? Yeah, we did. Reverse psychology? I don't think so. I don't think people pivot like that instantly. Yeah, I don't trust people. I believe more in like people who have balanced and maybe like borderline quote unquote fence sitter opinions. Fence sitters. Like, I don't know. Pivoting like that's kind of whoa. Just being thrown under the bus. Yeah, maybe. They're like, oh, we know you guys. We know. Yeah. It's not, sadly, Grace has criticized movies being too preachy before and has been advocating for equal female movies for a while. Huh. Interesting. I'd have to look into it. I don't know. With the clips I've saw, like, she's been pretty like, oh, well, you know, you guys are just attacking her because she's a woman. It's like, no. Like, I remember there was a very distinct clip, and I can't remember where it was from. It wasn't Snow White one. It was something else. I don't know. I'd have to look into it, so I'm not talking out of my butt, but...